guys, happy Saturday. Hope we are all doing well. Probably not even going to be the weekend by the time I get this out. But yeah, firstly, sorry it's been a while since I've recorded a long form video. Not that anyone really cares, to be honest, but if anyone does care, A, I've been struggling to find the time, and B, I really struggle, probably like a lot of others, with imposter syndrome. I find talking to a camera when there's no one else around really quite awkward. I get worried about people catching me filming, but I'm trying to overcome that because I'm really passionate about the power of movement and what it can do to our mental health just to get moving. And I think Pilates is a really good way to do that. Bit of a different video today because I was talking to a client in a class today about the at-home reformers that people are now able to buy from Aldi or Lidl. I can't remember which one it was, but she'd managed to get hold of one and was saying she was surprised at how good it is. I've not used them, so I don't know what functionalities they had, but it got me to thinking that I imagine at-home reformer is going to be or become a lot more accessible to people as time goes on and Pilates gets more popular for good reason. It's amazing. So today I wanted to take you through an at-home reformer workout. This is going to be for anyone that's never stepped foot into a reformer class or onto a reformer machine before. I'm going to talk you through the machine, kind of the basic principles, and then we'll go through a full body workout and yeah, going through kind of the fundamental repertoire. There will be a lot of talking and kind of technique, etc. If you do like this video, I can do more of them and we can move into more kind of dynamic flow and kind of speed things up a little bit. But when you first start reformer, I mean, everyone's different. Pilates, it's not a regulated industry. So I was kind of not classically trained. I was trained by a contemporary Pilates school. However, the training that I did is more on the classical side, so we do a lot around technique and breath and cueing and all that kind of stuff. The more kind of on the other side of the contemporary Pilates training is much more around sort of fitness and HIIT style, strength-based workouts on a reformer. I'm probably not that kind of teacher. If you do enjoy that style, there's lots of videos out there for you. But yeah, so today we're going to focus more on technique. If I do more of these, I'll do less chat and more just getting into the movement. But I think it's really important to understand the fundamentals around Pilates first. So there's a lot around breath and making sure that you're engaging the right parts of your body, etc., to really minimize any chance of injury. So Pilates at its core, obviously, excuse the pun, around kind of building the strength through our core and endurance and flexibility, is a lot around like rehab and injury prevention and yeah, building on our strength. So those fundamental principles are really, really important, and it's what Pilates is all about. So I think that it's super important. And yeah, as you can see, I can get on my soapbox about this a little bit. So I'm going to stop blabbing on and I will show you the reformer and then we will get straight into the exercises. So this is our reformer machine. So I am going to take you through a few very basic kind of safety things. One thing I will say is the first time you step foot onto a reformer, your instructor is probably going to talk to you a lot of things and you're not going to remember much of it. So I would say kind of we'll go through the basics and then let's just get you guys on and we'll start moving our bodies and we will learn as we go. Obviously making sure that we're doing that nice and safely. So you have your reformer machine. This is your carriage. So this is what is equivalent to the mat in mat Pilates. You have your shoulder rest, you have your head rest, you have your pegs, and then you have your straps here. So we have a long strap. We have a long strap and a short strap. These are for our legs and our arms at various different points throughout the workout. You have your foot bar at the bottom there, and you have your foot plate. The foot bar is adjustable. You've got a safety strap, which is something that we'll use for exercises that we're doing on our side predominantly. And then you have your springs at the bottom here. So the springs are what give you the tension on the carriage. It will be different depending on which machine that you're using. But on my reformer, you've got your blue spring, which is your medium spring. You have your red spring, which is your heavy spring. And then you have your yellow spring, which is your light spring. More tension doesn't always equal a harder exercise. Sometimes it can be the other way around. But yeah, I would say that is kind of the main thing that you need to know. One kind of thing to mention is just make sure that you're never without a spring. If you're without a spring, you will see that the carriage flies up and down, which can be a little bit dangerous. So always make sure that you're keeping at least one spring on. We are going to start with our footwork. So different teachers do it differently, but I always start with footwork. I think it's a really good way to warm up the body and get it ready for the workout that we're about to do. It's really important to work through our feet. A lot of people kind of underestimate the importance of working through our feet. But yeah, the footwork is not meant to be super demanding. In some classes it will be, but for me it's more of kind of, like I say, a warm up to get your body nice and warm and ready for the rest of the workout. So to get yourself onto the carriage, you're going to come seated at the edge of the carriage. You're going to grab a hold of those shoulder rests with both of your hands and then just lie yourself onto your back. And then when you're on your back, you're going to come to hip width distance with those feet on the foot bar. So hip width distance, we're aiming to be able to fit a fist in between our thighs. A lot of people think our hips are wider than they are, so just enough space for a fist to fit in between them. And we're going to bring the toes onto the foot bar. We're going to come into a nice neutral spine. So to find a neutral spine, I want you to think about not arching your back, not imprinting your back either. So just a little bit of a gap between yourself and the mat. Enough space for kind of a little blueberry just to be squeezed underneath there. So it's essentially where your spine naturally falls. I then want you to think about actively engaging into those hands that are pressing down into the mat at the side of the body and taking a nice deep breath in. And then you exhale, push out and straighten those legs. And then inhale to come all the way back into that stopper. So that stopper is that thing that you're going to feel yourself hit. And then we bend the knees to come all the way back in. Exhale, push away. Inhale, bend all the way in. And exhale, we push out. Inhale, bend all the way in. We're going to do 4 more. Exhale, push away. Inhale, bend all the way in. And last 3. Inhale. And last 2. And inhale. And last 1. And then coming all the way in. Now we're bringing our heels onto that foot bar now. Again, taking a nice deep breath, making sure that that spine is still in neutral. Inhale, exhale, push out, straighten those legs. Inhale to bend in, and exhale, we push away. And bend in, exhale, pushing away. Inhale to come in, and 4. Let's do 4 more. Inhale, come in, and extend out those legs. Last 3. Nice job, guys, making sure that you're still pressing into those hands, maintaining that nice neutral spine, coming all the way in. Now bringing your heels together and coming into this baby V shape with the toes. So not a wide V, just kind of a baby V. Again, keeping the hands nice and close to the body, pushing into the mat. Inhale, exhale, we push away, straighten those legs, and bend in. Exhale, push away for 2. And 3. Nice job. 4. We've got 4 more. And last 3. And last 2. and 1. Let's come all the way back into that stopper. So making sure that you're coming back into that stopper each time. Now we're bringing our toes back onto the foot bar. We're going to perch those toes over that foot bar like you're a little bird on a perch, taking a nice deep breath. Exhale, push away, straighten those legs. And then inhale, I just want you to wrap those heels underneath that foot bar. You should feel a nice stretch through the hamstrings. And then exhale, you come up onto those tiptoes. Inhale, we wrap the heels underneath and come up onto those toes. And 3, good job. And 4, nice work. Let's do 4 more. And last 3. And last 2. And last 1, nice job. Now I want you to bend that left knee, the right heel wraps underneath the bar, and then we switch it. So the legs are just gliding past one another, the knees are bending, and our breath on this one, we want to think about inhale, inhale, exhale, exhale, inhale, inhale, exhale, exhale. Nice job. Let's do 4 more. Inhale, inhale, exhale, exhale. Good job. Now bend both of the knees, come all the way back into that stopper, and let's sit up for a second. Just going to add an extra spring on now. So coming on to 3 red springs. And then when you're ready, lying yourself back down onto your back. Again, finding that nice neutral spine. One more thing, just make sure there's a little bit of a gap between yourself and the shoulder rest. You don't want to be hunched up against those shoulder rests, hurting our shoulders. You take a deep breath. And then that left leg lifts up into a tabletop position. So for tabletop, we're aiming for our knee directly over our hip. Nice 90-degree angle with that leg there. Taking an inhale, and then as you exhale, pushing out off that right foot that's on the foot bar and straightening out that leg. And then inhale, bend all the way into that stopper, thinking about moving with control. Exhale, we push away, and inhale to bend in. Exhale, push out, and inhale, bend in. And 4, and 5, and 6. Let's do 2 more. And last 1. Now coming in halfway on that carriage, add a little pulse for 8, 7, and 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now bend that knee in, come all the way into that stopper. You should be starting to feel warm now. Bringing our heel onto that foot bar. The toes on both feet are pointing up towards the ceiling. Take a deep breath in, and then exhale, push away, straighten that leg. Inhale, bend in. And 2, and 3. Nice job, guys. 4, keeping that left leg up in tabletop. 5, and 6. 2 more, guys. And last 1. And then coming in halfway on that carriage, add that little pulse for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bending that knee in, coming all the way back into that stopper. And then both feet are coming up onto the foot bar. You're starting with your toes on. Right leg lifts up into tabletop, making sure that that knee again is directly over the hip. Spine is in neutral. Hands are actively pushing into the mat. Take an inhale. Exhale, we push away, straighten that leg. Inhale to come in. And 2, and 3, and 4. Let's do 4 more. And last 3, last 2, and last 1. Extending that leg out the whole way. Coming in halfway now and adding that pulse for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend that knee in, come all the way into that stopper. Heel comes onto the foot bar. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, extend out that leg. And inhale, return. And 2. Inhale, come in. So really important to think about moving with control. We're not flying up and down that carriage. One of the core Pilates principles is working with our breath, moving with control. Make this your last one. Come in halfway, add that pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bending all the way in. Both feet come onto the foot bar. Take a deep breath, inhale. And exhale. And then you're gonna bring your hands around. My strap should be on the pegs. FYI, if you keep your straps hooked on the pegs there, it's gonna be easier when you need to come and reach them. So I'm gonna lie back down onto our back. I'm actually gonna take one spring off now, so I'm coming onto 2 red springs. We lie back down, find that nice neutral spine. Hands come into the long straps now, so we're gonna do a bit of work through our abs. So the arms are straight, the fingertips are pointed towards the ceiling. So this is our start position. So we're aiming for that hand to be directly in line with the shoulder. Don't let the hands be back here. This is our start position. When you found that start position with the hands, the legs come up into tabletop. So left leg lifts up into tabletop and then the right leg, and then glue the knees together. So your knees are as one piece. We take a nice deep breath in and then exhale. I just want you to bring those hands down to the mat and then inhale as we lift the hands back up and return to that same start position. Exhale, hands come down. Inhale, we lift up. So we're aiming to get those hands all the way down to the mat, just hovering about an inch off the mat. Inhale, we come up. Let's do 4 more. Inhale, come up. And last 3. And last 2. And last 1. Nice job. Coming out of it, just find the foot bar for a second. Just loosen your hands, just shake them off. Now we're going to add in another layer. So as those hands come down, your head, neck and chest is going to lift, and then you're going to hover your hands again just an inch off that carriage. So just engaging our core a little bit more. So we're taking an inhale, coming up into that setup, and then exhale. As the hands come down, the head, neck and chest lifts, and then we start to lift the hands back up. As the hands reach 90 degrees, head, neck and chest lowers down. We return to that same start position. Inhale and exhale, come up. Look into the center of your thighs, trying to find a bit more height each time. It's hard to teach this as I'm doing it, because you can probably hear that my voice is starting to shake. So it really works through our core, and it doesn't get any easier the more you do it. So trying to find a bit more height through that spine each time we come up. Let's do 4 more. And last 3. And last 2. And last 1. Hands come up, and then the head, neck and chest lowers down, and just bring the straps onto those pegs for a second. Bring the knees into the chest, interlace the hands. Bring that pelvis up off the mat and just take a nice stretch. Roll the pelvis around from side to side. And then let's just take a full body stretch. So hands come up overhead, and we extend out the legs, point the toes. Take a breath, inhale and exhale. And then we bring the feet back to the foot bar. Now we're going to do some legs in straps now. So legs in straps, working through our hips. So we take the left leg, bend the knee, bring that left leg up into the strap, and then bring that leg forward, and then bring your right foot into the strap. So when you come into the strap, aim to get the strap nice and centered in the base of the foot, just so it's nice and supported. You're going to bring your heels together, find that baby V shape with the toes. Hands are actively pressing down into the mat, and then exhale, just coming forward on those feet, and let's just bend the knees in. So this is our frog. We're exhaling as we push away on a straight line, and we're just getting used to the feeling of our feet being in the straps. I'm not even sure if you can see me now, probably not, but we'll work with what we've got. Let's do a few more. Bend the knees in as you inhale. Exhale, push away. and 2 more. Inhale to come in. Exhale, push away. Okay. As you inhale, I want you to start bringing those legs up towards the ceiling, pointing the toes. We're keeping our pelvis nice and stable. So you'll see if I bring the legs further back, the pelvis is starting to lift off the mat now. We don't want that. We want to keep the pelvis nice and planted. You exhale, push forward on those feet. Same thing, thinking about pelvic stability. So as you bring the legs down, when you feel your back start to arch, that's when I want you to come up with those legs. Exhale, push down. And inhale, coming up. And exhale, we push down. Inhale, we come up. And exhale, push away. Let's do 2 more. Really nice job, guys. And last one. And then coming all the way up, we're going to start our circles now. So you exhale, start to open those legs. Draw a semicircle with your legs, and then your heels come together at the bottom. And then you inhale, coming up through that center line. Exhale, open, draw down and around. So thinking about coming to carriage width with those legs. It's not about how wide we can get the legs. It's about moving with control. Draw down and around. And then inhale to lift. 2 more like this. And again, thinking about maintaining that stable pelvis. So not letting the pelvis lift up off the mat. And last one this way. Bring those heels together at the bottom. Now we're going to reverse it. So you're going to take a deep breath in. And then exhale, draw that semicircle up this time. Heels come together at the top. And then we push down off those heels. And exhale, draw up and together. Exhale, we push forward, making sure we're keeping the heels together the whole time. And push down. Let's do 3 more. And last 2. Oh, really gets the legs this. And last one. And then exhale, push down. Let's hold it here. So holding it where you can maintain pelvic stability, keep those heels together. Going to move into our opening. So this time we inhale as we open the legs on a straight line, and then exhale using your inner thighs to draw you back in. Inhale, we open, and exhale to close. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Let's do 3 more like this. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. And last 2. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Killer. Really hard to get work through those inner thighs. This really does the job. Inhale. Those feet come up through center. Let's bend the knees in. And let's just let the hips come out now. And just kind of take a bit of a nice stretch here in this sort of baby pose. And then let's bring that left leg out of the strap, find the foot bar, hook that strap on the peg, and then right foot hooks onto the peg, and we come up. Ooh, I am warm now. We are going to do a stretch now. So we are going to come to the side of your reformer. Your right leg, your right foot is going to come right up against the top of the carriage there. And your left foot is going to come back to the shoulder rest. You're tucking your toes underneath here. You come into shoulder width distance with those hands. Our gaze is nice and forward. And we're thinking about drawing our shoulders away from our ears here, guys. Inhale. And then exhale. I want you to push back on that back leg. And then we're trying to straighten that leg that's out in front. Once you've found a stretch, hold it here for 3 breaths. Inhale. And exhale. 2 more. Inhale. And exhale. Last one. Inhale. And exhale. And then draw it all the way in. Coming out of it. and then come around to the other side. I'm just gonna scooch on over the reformer. Left foot is gonna come up against the front of that carriage. Right leg is coming onto the shoulder rest. Taking a deep breath in, finding that nice setup position. And exhale, we push back, straighten that front leg. Hold it, inhale. And exhale, 2 more, inhale. And exhale, and last one, inhale. And exhale. And then we come all the way back into the stopper. Nice job. We are gonna work through our arms now. So we are gonna come kneeling onto the carriage, and then you're gonna sit back onto your knees, grabbing a hold of those short straps this time. And I want you to come with your arms straight, and the straps are about, actually, I'm gonna take a bit of tension off. So let's come onto one red spring now. The straps are about 20 degrees in front of the body. The back is nice and flat, and we're thinking about drawing in through our core. Taking a deep breath in, and then exhale, pull back on those arms, and you want to get the straps about 20 degrees behind the body, and then inhale to come forward. Exhale as we pull back, and inhale coming forward, and exhale, pull back. Again, inhale forward, and pull back for 4, and we're going to do 4 more, and last 3, and last 2. Nice job, guys. And last one for our chest expansion, and then release. I'm just going to tighten this strap up a little bit because it feels a bit loose. Just always make sure, guys, that your straps feel nice and equal. We're going to come into the short straps now, and your hands are going to come out in front of you. You're going to rotate your palms, so your palms are facing up towards the ceiling now. We're going to do a bit of work through our biceps. So inhale, prepare, and then exhale, bring those hands in towards the chest, and then release, and 2, and release. Good job. 3, making sure that we're keeping a nice flat back, thinking about keeping that core drawn in. Let's do 4 more, and last 3, and last 2, and last 1. Then release it. Now I want you to cross those straps over one another, and then taking a hold of the strap in the opposite hand, and your palms are going to face towards the floor now, and you're kind of holding it as though you're riding a horse, I guess. So as though you're holding onto the reins. So inhale, and then as you exhale, we're bending at the elbows. The elbows are coming all the way to the shoulders, and then release. Exhale, pull back, and release it. And 3, nice job. And 4, let's do 4 more. And last 3, and last 2, and last 1. Good work. Letting go of that strap that's in your right hand, keeping a hold of the strap in your left hand. So we're starting in that same setup position with the right hand. The other hand comes down to the side of the body. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, we're pulling on that strap. You're adding a rotation through the spine, and you're looking round to the back of the room, and then you return to that start position. Exhale, pull back, and then release it. And 3, nice job. 4, and let's do 4 more, and last 3, last 2, and last 1, and release. Good job. That strap comes back onto the pegs, taking a hold of the strap in the right hand, making sure that we've still got that nice setup, nice flat back, engaging through the core. Inhale, exhale, pull back and rotate. And 2, Using that breath, using that exhale to bring you back. 3, 4, and 4 more. Last 2, and last 1. Good job. And then returning that strap onto the peg. Nice work. Now we're going to come into a kneeling position on our reformer. And you're coming up nice and close against those shoulder rests. Your hands are coming onto the sides of the carriage and bring them quite high up. We want to come into this 4-point kneeling position. So we're aiming to find a nice flat back here, thinking about drawing in through our core, taking an inhale here, looking down into the center of the carriage. Exhale, we bring those hands bring the hips in towards the hands. And then release it. This is our reverse knee stretch. Exhale, bring the hands in. And release. And 3. Good job. And 4. Nice work. We've got 4 more. Ooh, it's not easy to talk and teach. Last 3. And 2. And last 1. Nice job. Release, and then just come into this stretch. So keep your hands where they are, and then just come back into this nice child's pose and get a lovely stretch through the body here. Take a breath, inhale, and exhale, and then coming up. Now I want you to get a hold of your box. If you have a box, not everyone will have a box. We're going to bring that foot bar down just so it's not going to get in the way. And this is our box. We can do lots of things with the box. We can have it on long or short. This is long ways. This is what we use for our back extension. We're staying on 1 red spring here, and you're going to come lying onto your belly on that box. And then you're just going to shuffle forward. So your chest is just kind of hovering off the box. And we're nice and engaged through the whole body here. So thinking about pushing that pubic bone down into the box. And now you're going to take a hold of the straps at this rubber bit. So just a little bit further up. Hopefully you can see that. And then we're starting looking down in the center of the carriage. The hands are out in front of us and the arms are straight. So we take an inhale here. As you exhale, pull back on those straps. Start to lift your head, neck and chest and your breastbone up. And you're bringing those hands in towards the hips. And then inhale, release, and the head comes back down, returns to that same start position. Inhale, exhale, lifting up and hold it. And then we release it. Inhale, take a breath. Exhale, coming up, lifting through that breastbone. Trying to find a bit more height through the spine each time and return into that start position each time. Let's do 4 more. And release. And last 3. Hold it. And release. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale, come back. And release it. Last 1. Inhale. Exhale, pull back and hold. Release it. Okay, so everything is going to stay as it is now. So you're looking down in the center of the carriage. We're going to do a bit of work through our arms. So inhale, exhale. All I want you to do is bend in at the elbows. Try and get the elbows in nice and close to those ribs. And if you can, come into a tricep extension. And then release it. Come back to that start position. Inhale, exhale, pull back. And come into that tricep. And release it. Let's do 3 more. Inhale and coming back. Release it. Last 2. Nice job. Thinking about our control. I need to practice what I preach. And last 1. Release it. Then you're letting go of the strap that's in that left hand. You're keeping a hold of the strap in your right hand. Your left hand is going to come onto your back. Your palm is facing up towards the ceiling. Just doing some single arm work now. Whew, need to get my breath. Inhale. Exhale, pull back. You're probably not going to be able to get in that full tricep extension on single arm. So just bringing the elbow in towards the ribs and then release. And 3. Let's do 3 more. And last 2. And last 1. Good job. Release it, letting go of the strap in that right hand, picking up the strap in the left hand. Inhale. And pulling in. And release it. And 2. Nice job. 3. Hand should be at the base of the back. Forgot about that. Last 2. There's lots to think about in Pilates. And last 1. And then release it. And then you're just going to pop off the reformer. And you're going to come onto your mat at the side of the carriage. Come to hip width distance with those feet. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale, nod the chin to the chest, and let's start to peel that spine down towards the mat now. So micro bend in those knees. We peel the spine all the way down onto the mat. Take a deep breath there. And then exhale as you peel the spine back up. And that was your little reformer taster. Obviously it was very quick. As I said at the beginning, there was a lot of chat. It wasn't perfect. It's never going to be perfect, but we don't care about perfection. All we care about is showing up and having a go and getting yourself moving. So I hope that you enjoyed this. Let me know what you liked, what you didn't like, and I will see you in the next video.